The company claims that it does over 210,000 RPMs. Well, I'm not in any position to challenge them on that, but I'm gonna go with it and say that it does do that. YouTube has gotten a little obsessed with these tiny little battery operated handheld fans. Like you see people blowing off their cars with it, they're blowing down leaves on their driveway with it, they're even blowing off snow on their car. What they're talking about is the Roedix R9 Max Air Duster. So I wanted to find out if the hype is all it is to be. So let's take a closer look at the R9 Air Duster. But I do have a warning about this product that you're gonna need to know. So later on in the video, I'm gonna share why you need to be careful when using this air duster. So I want to put this thing to the test, and no, I'm not going to be blowing leaves down the driveway or blowing off the car from water and all that kind of stuff. That's not practical. You're not going to use this to go blow down leaves off your driveway. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, you want to test the power of it, fine, but you're not going to do this instead of a leaf blower. Let's get real right now. But there are many practical uses for this thing that you can use around the house. Out of the box, the package includes the duster, 5 different nozzles, a brush to keep it clean, a USB-C charging cable, and a carrying bag. Let's talk about the duster itself. This weighs in at about 0.6 pounds is what they say. In the hand, you could tell that it is definitely something that is heavy. I mean, if you were to throw this at somebody, you'd do some damage. I would say that most of the weight is probably within the battery itself. The battery in this is over 10,000 milliamp hours is rated for. So you're going to get a long life out of it as well as a lot of power from it. If you want to get a closer look at the fan, hopefully you can see that in there. So that's all housed in here, and this is one of the nozzles that it came with. So here are the 5 nozzles that it came with. So here's the fan itself. A little brush, I guess, to clean the vent with, I guess. I don't know. I haven't figured out why you would need that. Here's the USB-C charging cable, a little carrying bag, and the 5 different nozzles that you would use it for different purposes. So far, the one I've used the most is this one, and also this one here. These two I found kind of practical in blowing things down around the shop or around the house. So here, the power button is over on the side. You hold the button, green light comes on. Here's the fan settings. So you have low, medium, and high. And then off again. Earlier in the video, I had mentioned that there was a warning that I wanted to share with you using this fan. I've used this fan a couple of times now in enclosed spaces, especially in enclosed spaces. Not so much without any of the nozzles on it, but if you put on especially the most narrowest of nozzles and you put it on, I'm going to power it up again. If you were to use this in an enclosed area like in the house or in the garage or in the car, especially in the car, when you're in an enclosed space and you have this nozzle on there, the air rushing out is coming out at a very high pitched. Yes, I've used it in the beginning without it, using it like that. It's not as piercing and loud, but you put the nozzle on it and it does get louder. I had tested it with a mobile app decibel meter and it had reached 101 decibels. To put it in perspective, the circular saw, and the miter saw and the circular saw generate about 100 to 110 decibels when they're powered on. Imagine using the miter saw in the car where the noise can't escape. So just be careful. There was no warning on the package that said about it. I'm just saying it because for me personally, who's highly sensitive to noise, this is something that I would be careful using without ear protection. At least having some sort of earbuds. I mean, my earbuds here, noise canceling, so they do the trick. So who would this be good for? I would say that anyone who, like I said, if you are more of a gadget type guy and keyboards, computer towers, that kind of stuff that collect dust because they have the fans and stuff, or the keyboards people eat at the computers and to blow it out. I think that's a great application for it. For what I just used for the miter saw, I try and vacuum things up instead of blowing it around. But for stuff that I can't get to, then yeah, I would vacuum it up first and then I would use this. Air mattresses, so your kids have friends coming over and you need to blow up an air mattress, this would be fine for blowing up an air mattress. It's got plenty of juice to do that. It's not going to get lost in a drawer in my house or my shop. I'm going to keep it somewhere where it's accessible that I could use on a regular basis. But I will be using air protection when I use it. So that's the Roedix R9 Max Air Duster.